Hey, welcome in everyone. Dom time. Dom Giordano with you tonight, talking illegal immigration, a broken immigration system, with somebody who works her day job on that. Daily News columnist Christine Flowers, friend of the show and friend, talking about what it's like to try to fix this and deal with this. Let's take a caller. Teresa in New Jersey, you're first in tonight. Thanks for joining us, Teresa.
Yes, thank you. It's amnesty no matter how you slice it. I'm sorry. And I have no problem with immigration, but as long as it's legal. My ancestors came here legally, and I'm sure there are a lot of people still standing online legally. I am just really tired of the illegal aliens taking money that they are not entitled to it. And they didn't pay into the system, and they're circumventing the system. And it just really gets me irritated. It's amnesty, and I'm tired of it. It's got to stop.
Stay right there, Teresa. I believe it's amnesty too, Christine. Now, we can talk about direct amnesty. We can look at dictionaries and fiddle around with them. But if you're getting the prize of citizenship, even if you have to go through some period of time, and I admit 13 years is a lengthy period of time, right, you're being forgiven for doing the wrong thing versus those that are waiting in other countries.
And listen, I have sympathy for what Teresa is saying as well, because my grandparents came over from Italy and
right,
on the other side from Ireland, and I completely understand that desire to be fair and to go through the proper process. Unfortunately, right now, as I mentioned earlier, being in an immigration court for 3 hours, that process doesn't exist any longer. There is no Ellis Island. It is a big jumble and a mess. And when we talk about people taking money that they're not entitled to, I would mention that illegal aliens, undocumented aliens, are not eligible for any of the social benefits that they, in many cases, are paying taxes into. Many of them have payroll taxes taken out of their salaries because they have what's called a taxpayer ID number issued by the Treasury Department, that wonderful Treasury Department.
Okay, well, let Teresa respond to that. Teresa, so go ahead.
Yeah, can I mention that I used to work for a temporary agency, and I had to kick out a number of people with either stolen or falsified Social Security cards.
And that's true.
That's how I think they're getting around the system.
Well, actually, though, Teresa, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then there are towns, whole communities in New Jersey that are being hijacked by illegal aliens, and the mayors are allowing it to happen.
Now, Teresa, what do you mean by hijack? There are sanctuary cities. There are cities that are de facto
sanctuary cities.
Yeah.
Yes, I know one in particular.
Yeah, well, name it. What town do you say?
Hightstown.
Hightstown, I agree with you.
He was just boasting.
I've had him on, and he is bold and blatant about it. And Christine, I go back to, it's a rule of law issue, and we have people engaging in this. Your argument seems to be we're going to legalize this, but there's a certain sense of why. Why would we legalize it?
Well, because as Schumer and McCain have indicated, we have a de facto amnesty already. We have people here. The government has already, listen, I am the biggest supporter of ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement. Those guys have a difficult job.
Why not continue to do that then?
But the problem is they can't. In many cases, a lot of them are in favor of some kind of a system that's going to ease the pressure on them. They're doing triage right now because there are illegal aliens here that you want out of the country. You want the people with the 4 DUIs, maybe the 1 DUI. You want people who are security risks. You don't necessarily have all of the manpower to go after the mother who has 3
No,
U.S.
I don't think we want to
kids.
go after this.
And to Teresa's point, and again, I understand what she's talking about. There are cities that have that the pressures that are put economically upon the municipalities are outrageous. But you already have these citizens. You have children who are born in the United States who are U.S. citizens, whether or not Representative Metcalf feels that they're citizens, they're birthright citizens.
Right.
They have the right to WIC and welfare and other benefits. And that's indirectly benefiting the mother and the father who may be here illegally, who then, who can't get.
I think that's part of the problem.
Thank you, Teresa. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for the call.
But the problem being is you want those parents to be legalized so that they can pay back into the system.
I just have my memory jogged here by Teresa, though, so I'll offer a challenge to the mayor of Hightstown. We'd love to have him come in studio, and I've had him on. It is pretty amazing. The rule of law issue, your argument is, see, I don't see it that it will happen because I think we were promised this before, maybe even well-intentioned, that we have all this law breaking and now we're going to say, because there's so much of it, we're going to do something else, which sort of forgives all this over here. And I don't see the sanctuary cities and the others going away. We have people that are blatantly violating the law, identity theft, et cetera. And that's what has to be dealt with. I think this would be worse, Christine. Why would it be better at the end of the day that I should have trust in people viewing this tonight, even though it's well-intentioned on paper, that this would get us to a better place?
Because the status quo that we have, the de facto amnesty that we have, the status quo can no longer, we cannot continue the way we are right now, because let's assume we did nothing. We legalized no one. We just sat back and said, okay, we're going to pour all of the money into ICE and into enforcement. You're still not going to be able to get all of the people out there, because you have different levels of violations. You have the seriously, the people that you want out of this country.
Okay,
I want out of this country.
One other area too for viewers, the border thing here. So you have Janet Napolitano, who is a fraudulent figure heading Homeland Security. And she has the ultimate power, as I understand it in this law, to make the determination that the border is secure. In fact, I think she would say it right now. And there are vast stretches where there's no fence, the border is not secure. And I don't see a figure like this and future figures ever really getting to border security. Marco Rubio, one of the architects, has said he may vote against his own bill that he started out with.
I agree with you on that point. DHS, the Secretary of DHS, should not be the individual who's charged with confirming. It should be Congress.
Right.
And that's why some of the Republican amendments definitely should be adopted and have been adopted. I think that is a perspective that really deserves respect. That Janet Napolitano has not proven herself, and DHS has not proven itself capable of policing the border, even though they've poured a lot of money into it, and there have been good faith efforts made. But, show us the money. It's not happening. So we need to have we need to have confirmation from both cameras, both houses of government, both houses of the Senate and the representatives. I would agree with that 1,000%. And I also am very upset at some of the liberal groups that are tacking on amendments. One that outrages me is this idea that we're going to issue visas for same-sex partners of U.S. citizens, foreign nationals. We have enough problems now trying to establish the good faith of heterosexual relationships. Why would we then open this up to a larger area of fraud? I think that's something, so we need to have some kind of compromise here. Both the left and the right need to just sort of sit back and say we need that middle ground.
Thanks, Christine. As always, Christine Flowers from the Philadelphia Daily News. Coming up, my 2 cents on the Belmont 112. Do you remember them? About 26 years ago, they were in the news. They were given a full scholarship if they could get through high school. I'll give you the results on Dom Time. Hey everyone, today I read about something that had slipped my mind a while ago and talked about it on the radio, the Belmont 112. These were kids in a tough area of West Philadelphia who in 1987, by a guy named George Weiss, at their graduation, 6th graders, were told they get through high school, they do all the right things, they will get to go to whatever college they can get into, it would be paid for them. Well, the stunning statistic, the reason it was in the paper, 26 years after the fact, only 20 out of the 112 students were able to complete 4 years of college and hopefully have a better life. When I talked about it today, it was incendiary because my belief is it's not about money, it's not about those things. Ultimately, it's about the parents, even in a tough neighborhood like Mantua, where these kids were from. Now, to be fair, it was about double the rate of those that graduate from Philadelphia public schools and go on to college, but still 20 out of 112, 26 years after the fact. I'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on Dom Time.